I think they will. So, Bob, you and Woodward both sketched this out beautifully. Got a lot of people really focused on it. We've learned more since then. Since your reporting came out, there's been a flood of information that's coming out. What have we learned since your book about January the 6th? January 5th.
We've learned a few things,
right,
but we still have so much to learn. When Woodward and I are going around knocking on doors, we have a notepad and pen in hand. And what does Congress have? They have subpoena power. But does Congress really have power, Joe? You served in the House. If no one actually respects the subpoena and testifies before the House. We reported that Trump was calling into the Willard War Room, that there was coordination of this pressure campaign. But we still need to learn more. What was the extent of Trump's conversations with Giuliani and Bannon and others? And you also have John Eastman. When we discovered this memo, we found this two-page memo that many are calling a blueprint for a coup. But who directs Eastman to do it? Who circulates this around the White House? We know it gets to Senator Mike Lee of Utah. There's still many unanswered questions, but they're going to try to fight this on the Republican Trump side all the way to the Supreme Court to avoid answering questions.
Bob, what about the question of executive privilege? We've heard that around Steve Bannon. He did not work in the White House at that time. He was the host of a podcast, but as you write about in the book, he was at the Willard helping to lead that charge. John Eastman may try to claim that as well. How far do we think this executive privilege extends, if it does at all?
I'm a little bit skeptical as a reporter about claims of executive privilege in this circumstance. John Eastman has been giving interview after interview about his conduct. So now is he going to say he can't talk about it before Congress, even though he can talk to reporters ad nauseum about it? And when it comes to Steve Bannon, he was not in the White House. He's been out of the White House since August of 2017. But they're all going to wait to see if the Supreme Court weighs in and protects privilege. That's why the DOJ matters here. Is there going to be a criminal investigation of this insurrection in any way? A criminal investigation is what opened up Watergate. That's what the grand jury during Watergate enables the Supreme Court to say we need to get the information. Is that going to happen here?
Okay, you live and work in the city where this event took place, January 6th. And what took place was a group of people, a small group of people at the beginning of it, at the root of it, a small group of people who have tried unsuccessfully to overthrow the existing government of the United States and the incoming government of the United States. So my question to you is, and you just referenced it, where is Merrick Garland and the Department of Justice in this?
So far, they're holding back. They are prosecuting the hundreds of people who stormed the Capitol at a grassroots level, those who committed acts of violence, who were caught on videotape. The question I have as a reporter is, what about those at the top, those who stoked these movements to happen, who put a scenario in place where an insurrection unfolds? And that's really a TBD answer, Mike. And for President Biden, this is a real challenge. Can the country move on if the answers aren't fully there on an insurrection? And this wasn't just about trying to steal the election. At the least, they were trying to smear Biden and say he was an illegitimate president. From day one of his presidency, he has had at least half the country, the Republican Party, being told by people like Giuliani, Steve Bannon, and Trump that he's not the rightful president. So until we have clear answers, clarity about an insurrection, it's hard to see the Biden presidency getting on full footing.
Hey, Bob, help me out. Claiming executive privilege are guys that didn't work for the president. Steve Bannon wasn't working for the president. Bernie Kerik wasn't working for the president, right?
Exactly right.
Rudy Giuliani wasn't working for the president.
Well, he was a lawyer, outside lawyer.
Outside.
But again,
though, executive privilege...
And I just keep thinking back, Joe, to U.S. versus Nixon.
Right.
They said during Watergate, if there is a crime, even the potential of a crime that took place, there's no such thing as privilege.
Right.
The president doesn't have the right to protect himself or his documents just because he's president of the United States.
What's the holdup here when you have something that unfolded so violently before the eyes of millions of Americans? I don't understand what the holdup for criminal charges or in a criminal investigation.
Gene Robinson, what's the holdup with Merrick Garland? What's the holdup at the Justice Department? He's got precedent on his side, as Bob Costa says. He should be moved.